Not that it matters. It's so nice
Hi,
to
Courtney.
see you, Phil. I'm so excited to see you.
You too. It's very nice to see you.
I get so excited. I look forward to Mondays. It's so fun for me to spend time with you, and I never know what's going to be said.
Yeah, it is interesting, isn't it, that we don't really have too much of an agenda other than to look at the week astrologically, but we often have such meaningful conversations. They're meaningful to me. I always feel, I always feel uh, inspired or really jazzed after after we speak. It's like there's a fire that gets lit inside me. It's not only energizing, but I feel like it's strengthening.
I
You
like that.
know,
That's how I feel too. I feel and yeah, like we can do anything.
yes,
Like we're capable. That's exactly how I feel. It's like so nice. And I don't always feel that way after I speak to somebody. I could sometimes feel tired and
yeah.
drained.
So I don't. Perhaps you have these situations in your life, but when my phone rings and I look at the phone number, when I read the phone number, I immediately get an emotional reaction. Is it is it is it a call that I want to that will uplift me, or is it a call where I might feel exhausted when I put the phone down? It's interesting. And there's sometimes it's a call where you could get a little bit of both, and that's fine too. It's all fine, but it's funny how, I'll hear the phone ring, and when I look at the phone, there's an emotional response, immediate,
Yeah, and
boom, before you can have a chance.
I think you're bringing this up because I actually think you're bringing this up because I think we're at a period where we better be listening to the response that I'm getting from the intuition. Maybe I shouldn't pick it up. You're right. I mean, I hate to say that, but maybe it's not for my highest good. And maybe the feelings are like, I love that you said that. 'Cause it's actually it's like the perfect metaphor for where we're at
Mhm.
because your feelings are telling you something. And are you going to listen? I mean, or are you going to sabotage yourself and pick it up and respond how you've always responded? But
Yes, exactly. So it's you're gonna pick it up knowing you're gonna get knocked down again, but you pick it up anyway, thinking maybe this time I'm not gonna get knocked down.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
what I was saying about like right before we got on the call, because we say hello before, I was telling you that all I keep on thinking about is that John Kabat-Zinn quote where it says, well, one thing the surfer knows is the waves are going to come, but our job is to learn to surf them. And yeah,
yeah.
the waves are gonna knock you down. You're in California, so maybe you should go watch some surfers. My friend actually was said she was just watching surfers and she thought, wow, there's not one wave that's the same.
That's right. And they
Yeah,
could
but I
come
don't
out.
think we want to be knocked down anymore. I think we're tired of it. At least I am. I don't want it anymore. I don't have a lot of energy to do that. I'm not interested in being knocked down.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
and like you said, listening to that intuition, that whisper, don't let other things crowd it out, and don't second guess yourself. If it's just because it's a whisper doesn't mean that it's not strong and important.
well, I notice this myself. When I get the whisper and I don't listen, it becomes stronger and then it hurts me more.
Yep.
Right? So it's if
Yep.
I don't listen to the silent, the quieter voice
Mhm.
in my head, um, it's like I'm like, and then I'm like, why didn't I listen? Like, why did I not listen? But I do think we're not listening, and I think we're trusting other people's judgments more than we're listening to our own gut.
Yep.
And I think we're ready. Honestly, I really do. I think we're ready to like listen to our own gut and question kind of everything that I don't know, this idea of like, we're responsible for everyone's feelings, right? So people call you and they're I don't, they're dumping. People are dumping on us. That's all I'll say. And everyone's dumping on everybody. It's not just us, right? So if people are going to call you and dump on you, hmm,
Right.
I don't know. I'm
But
not that
it
interested.
can right, because it it can deplete your energy to, I definitely want to be helpful, but that there's some point that, I had a friend who was a hypochondriac, and I would listen to him and listen to him, and I would say, I think it's time for you to see a doctor, and he would refuse to see a doctor, and then he would just continue with this. And I was hoping to get him out of that spiral, because he was locked in it. But he would completely dismiss a doctor's advice, saying, "What's he going to tell me?" So I did my best to kind of get him out of that cycle, but he was so resistant to it. And I felt bad for him, but at the same time, there's nothing I could do. There's nothing I could do to help him because just listening to him wasn't helping him. It really wasn't because he was spinning constantly,
Well, it
not
doesn't
able to.
help it and it drowns you. So for instance, right, if someone's not willing to have a conversation where they can move it forward, right, and they're just stuck in their what I'll say is whatever situation they're in and they keep on, they don't want to move the conversation forward or do anything about it. It will drown you. It literally is going to take you and drown you. And it doesn't help either of us, right? So I
Right.
think that's the hardest. I keep on thinking of Cancer energy, and that's kind of what I'm getting at now is with Cancer, it's you everyone could heal and everyone could heal one another. We could all touch each other and love each other and heal one another. We all can, except for somebody has to want to be healed to do it. They have to want to be okay. And if you don't, I just think of Cancer and water and you will drown. And we don't want you to drown. I don't want you to drown. I surely don't want to drown. I actually want you
Hmm.
to be happy and be out in the world and nature and appreciate and
Yep.
if you're not feeling well and someone keeps saying go to the doctor, probably you should go to the doctor.
Yep.
Go to the doctor or don't complain. I don't complain. I'll say to you, that's my new thing. If you don't like that's there's this song. Well, I'll tell you a family secret. So it's a country singer, and I'm not a big country singer fan, but my kids like the song. And it's do you know that do you like country music?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, it's called, wait, I'm gonna sing it, but I'm not gonna sing it really well. It's called Pour Me Another Drink. Pour me another drink. Um, wait, hold on. I'll look. I think it's Tyler. Wait, I don't even know. It's called Pour Me Another Drink. And so if anyone complains in our house, we're like, pour me another drink, right? Because it's is it a bar song? I don't know. Pour me
Sounds
another.
like one.
Yeah, it says, pour me another drink. So anytime anyone complains, that's what we say. If you're not going to go do anything about it, don't complain. That's, or, it's like, pour you, pour me another drink. Right. And now I think it's so interesting. I'll ask one of my kids and I'll put it in the notes, but pour me another drink. But it works, by the way. It cuts us out. Because if you're not willing to do anything about it and you're just talking and going into circles, honestly, then go sit with yourself and do that
Hmm.
because you don't really want anyone to help you. And that's the thing, like, do we want to be, do we want to suffer or do we want to use our feelings and to guide us?
Yeah, sometimes that suffering gets so familiar that it's becomes comfortable almost because breaking out of that cycle is strange. It would be like a strange new thing to have to deal with. So why not just stay stuck?
But
Because
it's
trying to
easier.
change is too much effort.
Well, it's also, it's not even just effort, it's that you're in the unknown. And so if you're used to something, right? If I'm used to it being a certain way, I can't even imagine what the other side looks like. because I just have this I keep on thinking about habits, like the habits we have, and they are so persistent. I mean, they just feel so real.
Yeah.
They feel very real. And I think it is scary. I think it is actually more scary to do it differently because it is unknown. It's like doing anything the first time. And
Yeah.
right? You don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And you can't imagine what it would look like. It's like, so I decided I would stop drinking like a long time ago for 21 days. And I remember thinking, I can't imagine myself not drinking. Like it was such a part of my life. And I really liked it. Like I just liked that glass of wine. And I decided just 21 days. I'm going to try it for 21 days. And I remember thinking, I would never be a person that wouldn't want to drink. That's just so not, I can't imagine that. I can't imagine going out to eat and not drinking. I couldn't picture it. And, I did after the 21 days, it was 22 days and it was 23 days. And I just honestly, like, I now, someone's like, well, will you ever drink again? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I don't even think about it because it's not part of but I could not picture what it would look like to be like this and not think about it.
Hmm.
It's like my daughter stopped eating sugar and tried to test it, and she was so miserable for a couple of days. And then you get used to it, and you're like, okay, this kind of feels really good now. I can't imagine ever eating sugar again because I feel so crappy. I like the sugar.
So I had a similar hang up with soda. So, it took me a while to stop drinking and I used to smoke and that was a challenge, but I, I got over those things. But I never thought I would ever stop drinking soda just because soda was always on hand. I would go to the supermarket or the 7-Eleven. I always had to have soda of different flavors. Sometimes I would switch off and like fool myself into thinking that, oh yeah, I don't have to rely on that kind of soda, but I always had to have soda. And I tried not to drink it, but it was just such a familiar taste to me. I didn't like the taste of water or unflavored anything. It had to be sweet and sugary and now I don't drink them at all. And when I do, it's really kind of a shock to my system. So like I drink LaCroix now, but only when it's really hot. And now I drink water if I'm thirsty. I never did that. I
That's
never did. I never drank water when I was thirsty. Isn't that crazy?
No, wait, I have a product to send you. I'm sending it to you. So my husband's in this business where he makes like vitamin water, like for your vitamins, but it's all fine. And it's like vitamins that go in your water makes water easier to drink. But yeah, you can't eat. I was like, wow, no, I can't. It's so hard to drink water. Like it should be so natural. It should be so easy. It's not, it's so hard to drink water. It is. And I love soda. I don't drink soda either anymore. And I actually never imagined that I would stop drinking it either. And then one day I just was like, "Oh, I don't know if I want that." But I could imagine. That's so interesting. I never even go for it anymore. I have seltzer and I all the time
Right.
or water or Vitapod, which is I'll send you some. I will send you some Vitapod. It's see if you like it. But
Yeah. Well, thank you.
easy to drink water in the summertime, but it's not an ad.
Right.
But it is
Yeah.
an ad because it works. But yeah, what was your soda choice? Because it is, and I think there's something from when our child. So, okay, I'm gonna tell you a secret. I feel a little guilty about the sugar because my daughter's like, I really was like, I think I'm like addicted to sugar, she said. I like think of everything in terms of like getting the sugar. And I realized I think it was my fault because I like would make things around. Like we would go to Italy when they were younger, and in order to go to Florence and have them behave, I'm like, you could have some soda.
Mhm.
Or we're going to get dessert there. And so we
Mhm.
had these experiences around food. And one of the things is you go out to eat or you eat something. I go anywhere I go, I like look for a bakery. It's like my natural mindset. So
Mhm.
then you kind of get taught that. Or then you're looking at soda, it's in every restaurant. So when you go out to eat, you order a soda, it's a special treat.
Mhm.
Alcohol, every single movie and TV, they're drinking alcohol. in the old movies, everyone's smoking cigarettes. And this is what's really bothering me, Phil. Now everyone's smoking pot or taking gummies. And I'm like, they're trying to normalize doing drugs and getting us numb. They're normalizing it. And there's nothing normal about it. Water is
Right,
normal.
right. And it's ultimately something that you'll probably want to not depend on at some point in your life if you are, if you do decide to use those things. I just think it's inevitable that you'll reach a point where you'll say, can I do this without relying on this? And when it becomes a problem, then you realize, oh boy, I can't say no to this. I I need to get some. That's when it's
Yeah, and you don't even and it happens very quickly. Like you don't
yes,
realize how
yeah,
much you crave the soda. My parents drink a lot of soda. I can't imagine. That was just I just had this thought like I can't even imagine them. I like didn't have the soda and my mother's like, "How do you not have the soda in the house?" And I'm like, it was not on sale. I only buy the soda
that's
when it's on sale. So
right.
it wasn't on sale. And she couldn't imagine that there was just no soda in the house. She just couldn't fathom. She was so bothered. I was like, oh, you really like that soda? I mean, listen, if that's the worst thing she's doing, so we'll let her stay there. But it is interesting what we're doing. And I think we're getting messages now of like what's actually working for us. Do you see this? And what's not.
It's coming up.
I think it's a message. Like I think we're getting messages and I think it's bothering us. I believe that we're getting these messages of what's good. And look at this. Wait, I'm so smart. Wait, Bill, I love
Mhm.
astrology because you want to see how brilliant what we were just having this conversation is. Look at this. Right now, we're talking about our feelings and our habits and the lower side of habits. So Virgo South Node, Virgo Moon, and we're talking about like the where we could kind of do it to not a good place. And the higher side is that we're all looking to find connection to God, right? When we do alcohol or even I think with sugar, we kind of go numb and we're looking to find the divine. But what habits are we ready to change? And then look, Mars is moving towards it, asking us to take inventory of our habits. So look at us, how intuitive our conversation was without even looking at the chart.
That's interesting, definitely.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? And how we're really ready to be kind to ourselves and nurture ourselves and love ourselves. What does that look like if we were to treat ourselves how I think about this. Like, would you want your children to do it? Or would you want someone that you really loved? I used to drink those big sodas. Did you get those giant sodas?
Oh yeah, and like again, I was like your mom. If my refrigerator did not have soda in it, I would have to go out and stock up. I couldn't I couldn't be overnight in my house unless there was soda in my fridge. And now it's not, I'm not even aware of soda. It took this conversation that we had just now to remind me how what a struggle I had with it. And now it's just not at all part of my world, or it's not causing me any, it's not taking up any space in my head whatsoever, which I'm very grateful for.
Yeah, but when you're so in it, like when you're in any problem or in anything, and maybe soda's not a problem, but maybe it is. We don't know. Who are we to judge
Mhm.
what anyone has or what anyone's doing? When you're so in it, you can't see past it. It's your mind. It's like when you have a problem, the mind has a way of, I keep on thinking of the energy of the trickster, like Virgo, Mercury, and here we're all having this mind games that's could be easily tricking us, and we have to kind of question, like, but know that somehow it does get better. It does, the mind does have a way of moving forward. And then you do forget. And I honestly forget a lot of things. I think it's just kind of, we're not supposed to hold them, I say.
Yeah, things will pass. They they pass through your life. They pass through your emotions. They just and let them move through it. Just don't because if you start if you start to get anxious about it and it becomes a handicap, then you're blocking it. You're stopping it. Just it's it's we're moving through all kinds of things, energies and you name it. We're in this ocean of different vibrations and energies, and some of them you're going to hook onto that vibration, and it could be working for you or not.
You know, I
But
I I think about what you said, and you said how we're at this period where I can't even imagine that I had that. And there is something about noticing how far we've come because we're so hard on ourselves, right? We're so hard on ourselves. And I mean, I think that's interesting of just this Venus Uranus, right? And Uranus is at the last point in Taurus. And how about if we were kind to ourselves, if we saw how far we've come with the small little details and how much better off we are? And I'll say to you, everyone, if you are standing and you are alive, you have healed from something very massive over the last few years, and you've been brave and courageous, and you're still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
mhm.
Right? I mean, that's pretty profound, right? I mean, pretty profound. That you're just
Yeah,
alive. I mean, if you're freaking alive now, you've accomplished something and you have gotten through something and you have, maybe it's time for you to remember, right?
mhm.
Like we're remembering these small little things that maybe seemed like a mountain at the time, but now on the other side, we're not even giving ourselves credit for it.
Right. And think about all the people that love you. Think about that. Where, you, where would that love go if you aren't around? You generated that love. You did. You are you are having an impact on other people's lives. You're so important to other people's lives. Imagine what it would be like without your love in the world. So you're not even, and it's just you being you, who you are.
Yeah. And I'll say everybody, right? It's this idea. How about if we knew that? Like, how about if we, I always think about that. How about if you knew, how about if we knew that? How about if we knew our value and our worth, right? Just that I mattered, right? Did I
Mhm.
matter? Yes, yes, you matter. Everybody matters, right? But we are so hard on ourselves and we just, but yeah, you matter. I matter, right? And I'm loved and you're loved
Right.
and you touch so many people's lives. And then everyone that's listening touches people's lives. And I'll say to you,
Yeah. So I think that we're born from love, and that when we go, we leave behind love. So I don't know, ask myself, what is this about? Why am I here? Where am I going? What's the point to all of this? But I do know that I came in through love, and that when I go, what's left behind is still love.
well, and all along it's love. If we were, I think, I think all along it's love.
Yep.
It's just somehow we forget. I always say if we weren't all so hurt, you would walk in and you could love anybody. But we're all
Mhm.
sitting here with these, we're so scared of actually telling someone I love you. And I was saying this because it's not just I love you. People, you can't just say I love you if people then want something, right? It's like, well, then I want something else. But I'm like, well, I think that's where love is funny, right? Your baby. I think it's so interesting, but you're born from love. I mean, at some point, even if those people say to you that they didn't love each other, they did. There was some kind of excitement in their body. That's so interesting, right? There was some fascination, like that's what love is, right? This like, I think you said something last week, and the person said that she never felt loved. And I thought, can you imagine? Like, she has, maybe she just doesn't. she's so scared to actually feel
Right.
it because it takes, there's something so scary of releasing, right? I think of like a male who's just go into a dirty spot, but it is, there's
Right.
a release of it and it's
Right.
scary. I mean, I don't know, I'm not a man, but
Right.
is there, okay, I'm going to ask you a very personal question. Oh my God, I can't even believe I'm going here. But I
Go
have,
ahead.
okay, so when a male ejaculates, right? I can't believe I'm going here. I'm sure there's a release, a sense of like freedom.
Yes, absolutely. There is.
It's excited. I mean, right? It's like right before the moment. It's like there must be this excitement that comes over your whole body.
Yeah. But it's also it's like a release valve too. It's like it's definitely a release, you know.
Yeah, but there's something about the fear of it, right? That like right before, it's a little scary to let go. I mean, I think
Hmm.
it's scary to let go, and I think that's what love is there's no control. There's just no
Hmm.
control.
Hmm.
But I didn't mean to ask you such a personal question, but I have a way of doing that. So,
No, it's
um,
perfectly okay.
but it is an
Um,
interesting thought. I love that someone loved you. Someone was loving, and they're most of the time that when you're being did your is your are your because you have a lot of siblings, are you guys all born around the same time of year?
no.
No, so
Uh,
that wasn't your family's situation because I always think that's so interesting when people have like the siblings. Is it like, wait, so did you guys see, are you able to see this? Did you see it switch
I see
over?
I see Monday.
Okay, and you didn't see the new one?
No,
Okay, wait. Now what about now?
not yet. No, it's still Monday.
Now?
No,
Okay, so I'm going to stop share and we're going to reshare it because it seems to have an opinion of its own sometimes. And is now Tuesday?
it's coming up. It's Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, because I think our Monday conversation was so perfect. I mean, I can't even, I'll say to you, we're getting messages about our habits. I'm trying to think about, I have to move my body more. It's a habit that is, it drives me crazy. I'm not good at exercising or like moving my body so much. And so I keep on getting the message of you have to move your body or else you're going to end up really hurting yourself because you need to move. I mean, it's maybe it's not just in my imagination, but we have to move. So that's which is so interesting. But I will say to you, so I'll say to you, Tuesday is Mars's day, and first thing I always do is look at Mars. So Mars and Virgo and the sun. So
The
actually
sextile the
sextiling the
sun,
sun. Look at that. I think it's so
and it's
interesting. It's like God really wants us to get it. God really wants us to nurture ourselves. It's in a really nice aspect. Look at that.
mhm.
Listen to our feelings, their messages, and then take action. Take action to improve it. I think Virgo is okay. So this is what I tell people that have a Virgo, like Virgo energy. Okay, you can complain about it and you can make someone wrong or judge it, or you could do things to make it better. And I'll say the higher choice is to do something to improve it. And it's still a Virgo moon too. I mean, we're really being asked to make adjustments in our lives. We're really being asked to make adjustments. And it's going to take a lot of unknown. You said something you couldn't imagine what it would look like, right? And then you think of Aries and the Fool, right? And there's something, the Fool card where the person's walking off the edge of the cliff and they're just kind of trusting that they have everything they need with them. I think that that's where we're ready. I think we're ready to all kind of go into the unknown, go where we don't know yet, go into and have faith and
Mhm.
respond differently. So what would you do if someone calls you now?
Called me.
Yeah, like so
And,
you get the message. Well, I have an idea for you. How about if you told them the truth? So you pick up the phone and then you respond differently and you don't play into how that's what I've been practicing just in general with everything is how am I responding? Because what can I control? And so I'm going to respond differently on the call or with the person. And I'm not going to play the same circle game anymore. And it works, by the way. It does. If I change how I react, the other side does. So it's a good way to, of course, it takes a lot of consciousness, but it takes a lot of practice. But I think we're
Yeah,
ready. I think we're ready to practice responding differently.
I'll have to do that. It's not something that I have a lot of practice with, but it's time.
Yeah, and you know what I was talking to Chloe about was that okay, Phil, so we're all blocked heart, but how about if you opened your heart before and you loved them and you almost imagined that the energy that you have within can open up and like illuminate and you would respond, I don't know, completely. You're going home, right? Aren't you going home soon?
Yes.
So good practice. Because I'll say to you, when we have family members, so karmic, so karmic. So you should practice because they respond so different. Like she's been playing around with it and it's amazing. It really works. It really works because the other people feel it. They feel when you're open versus when you're closed.
I will do that. I will definitely do that because yeah, I'm going back there knowing that I'll be walking into old patterns and things, but I'm not going to be I'm not going to wear armor about it. I'm just going to be open, like you say, and just be loving and not let speak my mind and let the chips fall where they may. And I'm sure you're right, Courtney, that when I do that, the response will be, you know, surprisingly positive because I think they'll feel like they won't have to use their armor either, so it'll just be a free-flowing conversation.
Well, and I think what's interesting is yeah, to say the truth, right? Because the Mercury, right, is going to be in Leo, and I do believe it's going forward, and then it's going to go retrograde. So it's going to really ask us to, I don't know what the date was, but it's sometime in July. It's asking us to roar. It actually is asking us to roar, and if you see, it's opposite of Pluto. And maybe if I roar and I don't care what they think, I can transform it. And I love that Leo energy because if it's the highest. Like I think of Leo, and if it's the highest, you know, sometimes the audience is not right, but you have to practice on somebody, right? So you have to roar. You have to kind of make a statement. I think you have to tell what is the truth. I don't even know what the truth is anymore, but you have to you can't be quiet. You can't be quiet. If you don't like something, you have to say something
Yep.
without blame, but that it can change. And I actually think you know what? I do know this. I mean, I do this work a lot. And I tell you, if people do this, the people that are their family members respond completely different. Because if you're not expecting them to respond that way, there's like magic. There's something very magical about when we don't know we don't have an agenda here. That's it. We have no agenda. We're just looking at the chart and there's no agenda. We're not trying to get something through. We're not trying to one up each other, right? We're not trying to compete with one another. We don't want anything from each other. We just want to make the world a better place. And so it's just easy to love you and it's easy to be in this conversation. We don't have any expectations. And so I think when we're going home, I just think Cancer, we're in this Cancer sun, we're in Jupiter and Cancer. And when we go home, how about if I don't need anything from anybody?
Hmm.
Or I don't expect them to show up in a different way. And I'm totally open-minded. I mean, I
Hmm.
think that's what this Gemini, you talk a lot about it, about Uranus going into Gemini. And I think that how if I had a radically open mind and I didn't believe everything I believe already? I mean, life would change so much. And how if I chose to feel safe? I think this Uranus Taurus. What are the chances that the end of Uranus, you have a beautiful Venus right next to it, asking us what does it mean for us to feel safe? Like, I'm going to go home and I'm going to feel safe because I'm going to choose it. I'm going to speak my mind, and they might not like it, and that's okay. And they will like it. Honestly, they'll be thrilled. They'll be like, woohoo, finally, Phil speaks. And he asks us what he wants. They've been waiting. They've been waiting. We'll go to Wednesday, Mercury's day, since we're so excited about Wednesday. Can you see that? Did it move for you on Wednesday?
Yes.
Wednesday. So it's Mercury's day on Wednesday. Hmm. Where's Mercury? Do you see it? Still in Leo.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's interesting. I mean, we're looking at a trine, and I'll say the moon. I always go to the moon too. So the moon's down here. So where, oh, I actually know this. I know Wednesday is going to be a Libra moon. So, oh, this is actually really interesting because remind me to tell you about something on Thursday, really important. Remind me to tell you something about Thursday afterwards.
Okay.
But it's a Libra moon, so relationships. So we seem to be talking about things right before we get to that point, but our relationships. And
Hmm.
here we could see that it's squaring. So Libra, the Libra moon will be squaring that sun. So feelings around relationships are going to come up and
Hmm.
what you want in the relationship.
Hmm.
Like what serves you?
Hmm.
And maybe if
And
it doesn't serve you to pick up the phone, maybe you don't pick up the phone.
mhm. And there might be some delicate feelings or shifting feelings in your communications with people.
Yeah, well, and I think what's interesting is that so Saturn is what blocks us, right? And it's in the sign of Aries. It's like where we feel blocked, but Neptune's asking us to find the spiritual light. And then you think about the moon and the feelings around my relationships and where I'm feeling blocked, that another person's blocking me. Like we can actually think another person is blocking us, and we could be, I'll say, angry at another person, and where maybe if feelings are coming up for us, there are opportunities to change and to grow.
Hmm.
And I could put you on the spot, but I'll say, like, when
Sure.
I think it's so interesting just because you're a strong Cancer energy, and you're a healer, and so this response, your own responsibility about being able to heal somebody and letting it go, or trying to fix somebody else, or do that. And I think this is an energy of that's coming up right now on Wednesday, actually. It's like you could only do so much for another person. And what do I want? I mean, I'm serious. I hate to say this because it's in order to balance that Libra energy with that Aries, what do I want? What do I like? What does anyone want? And I think that we're going to be called on Wednesday to ask, what do we want? And are we brave enough to go for it?
And people can't tell what you want unless you express it.
Well, they can't give you, right? Yeah, you're right. They can't give you what you want if you're not clear about what you want. If you don't say, oh, but and
Hmm.
how do we know what we want?
Hmm.
Well, we know what we want by knowing what we don't want. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no other way around it. We are such creatures of habit. I keep on thinking of our habits. What do you want? I want peace. I want to feel peaceful.
I want to I really want to know what's going on in another person's heart more than their mind. Like what is it that what are their most cherished dreams? What do they really hope for? What would really make them happy? You know, what would make them happy, but they not might not be aware of what that is. or because they don't express it or don't know how to express it, nobody else knows what that is.
Yeah, maybe I think of that and I think about how vulnerable it is actually to know what I want or what somebody wants. There's this vulnerability of actually looking within and being honest. I think this is so Mercury and Leo, right? Opposite Pluto, but it's how vulnerable it would actually be to write what I want or to say what I want. And I mean, Leo is the heart, right? And so as the sun moves towards Leo and it's in Mercury, what does my heart desire? And I'll say to you, yeah, and we want that from another person, but are we willing to be vulnerable enough to share that with somebody? To say, oh,
Mhm.
I want you to love me. I want you to see. I'm thinking of like very Leo words. I want you to see me. I want you to appreciate me. And at the end of the day, that's what everyone wants right now. Everybody wants to be seen. Everyone wants to be appreciated, whether you say it or not. It's just that is the energy that's calling us. It's like you matter, and you matter. I mean, if not now, then when?
Yes.
So. I see you, Phil, and I love you, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate the courage that to use your voice and to speak in this very spiritual way, right? And I just think that that's very North Node of us. It's very North Node what we're doing, having these conversations that we don't know where it's Pisces, where it's going to take us, and not judging it, kind of not judging not judging it. But I'll say, okay, I hope for you that you meet people that open their hearts and share what they want with you. It's so vulnerable. And I'll say sometimes we just, all it takes is having the courage to say it to one person and then it becomes a wish
Hmm.
or even get it on paper, right? I think Jupiter's day is this. So this is really interesting. Okay. I knew I had something to tell you. Hold on. Let me just check to make sure because I have it in my book. Hold on. I have to look. I'm a very paper person. Yep, Thursday. Okay. We have these very, very, very long void moons. So Thursday literally is a void moon all day. It's a void moon all day. The moon will move, but it will literally not like it has no energy. So it's going to get things are going to get really hard. Don't go food shopping on Thursday for the July. Go food shopping on Wednesday. Seriously, you'll just be wasting a lot of food if you go Thursday. Like it's a day to dream and to imagine what you want and to kind of I use days like that to be very whimsical and trying to connect to the divine and open my heart. And so it's very interesting because it's void all day long. And so there's just the moon's just not, there's no action in the moon. And it's in Libra. So it's like, how about if I dreamed about what I want? I love what you said, how before you said, like, what do you dream of? I'll say to you, well, yeah, I'll say to you, maybe you should ask yourself, okay, no judgment, Phil. I'm going to put the mirror up. Do you ask yourself what you dream of and what your heart desires?
I think I do. I think I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. But I'll say, I think that that Thursday, I think we should all kind of dream big.
Yeah. Spend time dreaming big. Make it put it at the top of your to-do list instead of at the bottom or somewhere in between.
Yeah. And love I mean, I think of like, if I want I think of like this day, if I really want somebody else to love me, right? I'm just using me as like using words, right? I better really take the time to love myself and to go into this, sit with myself and kind of let go. Let go. Do you know that song? Did you ever see Frozen? Let it go. Let it go.
Mm. Hmm.
You're not holding me back anymore. Good day
Great
to watch
song.
movies. I find it's a good day to kind of get lost in whatever you're doing. I still haven't watched that other movie, so I have to watch it, but maybe that's a good day to watch the movie. So it's very interesting. It's a very long, usually the moon's void for I think maybe an hour. It's okay. And honestly, things don't get done so easily. So you'll be waiting. just be careful with what you want to get done on Thursday. It's or like waiting for people to call you back, or I don't know. Just go with the flow. Go with the flow.
Yeah.
Take a breath. Do some yoga. Do some
I just think
yoga.
it's just a big pause button.
Yeah, it makes me think if like you're traveling for the 4th of July, is there going to be a lot of traffic? Is it going to just take longer to get everywhere? Like, so anytime David's traveling when there's a void moon, I swear it's like the plane doesn't go off. I'm like, oh my God, there's always a delay. So I'll say to you, is there going to be a storm or something? Who knows? Maybe there's going to be a storm and it's going to create delays. I hope not. I'm hoping not.
Mhm.
But I think with astrology, what is good to know is what can I do about it?
Mhm.
What can I do about it? What can I do about it? But it's swearing that sun. So if you're, I don't know, I do believe this. Can you go back to talking about the instincts in the phone call? Because I think it's so important right now to listen to the instincts around other people that your gut's telling you something.
You mean when my phone rings and I see the number that I have an instantaneous emotional response before I even have a chance to think. It's that instantaneous response of, oh, this is a nice surprise. Oh, I forgot that I was supposed to get this call. Or, uh-oh, I wonder, I wonder what what I might have to sit through now. And, will this call drain me?
Yeah, I'll say don't let people drain you on Thursday, because it's you matter too. I'll say not you, everybody matter. Yeah, you matter, I matter. We matter too much. And if this is it, if this is like our container, which is very Cancer word, and this is our energy level, it is not loving, which is a very Libra word, to ourselves. And here, I
Mhm.
mean, this is so interesting. Look at this. It's a void moon all day, right? The ruler of Libra is Taurus, right? And Venus, right? So Venus, and Venus is conjunct Uranus. And we could have it's unexpected situations around love, around our own safety. And what do I have to do to be safe? I mean, we are all responsible to make sure our life vests are on and be safe. And the government can't keep us safe, really. Maybe our husbands can't keep us safe, our wives, our moms, and our dads. And so David made a comment. He's like, "Oh, teach your children how to fish. Don't just give them fish. Teach them how to fish." And I think that's why we do this call, is we're trying to teach you how to
Mhm.
fish because you can do it.
Mhm.
You can do it.
Yes, you can do it.
So we're gonna go to the 4th of July. 4th of July, fireworks. Wait, oh my God, look at that. Fireworks. Fireworks on Venus's day. Wait, don't you find this interesting how it's always conjuncting something on the day of it? It's like, doesn't it feel kind of magical to you?
Yeah, it's it's a rhythm. It's that it's like a structure that is the foundation for everything. But we don't see it if unless we know where to look, which is why, astrology is so amazing.
Yeah, I think that maybe it makes us feel like we're not going crazy. Like, okay, well, it's okay. I always make this comment, right? Well, it's the moon, this too shall pass, right? I mean, people are emotional. And I think it's interesting because the moon is in, when does it go? It goes into Scorpio, goes into Scorpio. I mean, it's so interesting to me. It goes into Scorpio on 4th of July morning. And I'll say to you, oh God, people have a lot of feelings and there's a lot of anger. And I think it's so easy did you watch, okay, you think I watch a lot of TV. I don't really watch that much TV, but I'm always quoting TV shows. But did you see the Friends and Neighbor show?
I haven't, no. You
Okay,
mentioned to me.
it's so brilliant. It's like talk of, and it actually is. It's like this. It's like the water cooler show. Oh wait, did you hear about this other show that's very water cooler for the young kids? So I'm not watching this because every time I watch it or sit at the chair, I feel dumber. It's called these kids are all watching what is it called? Love Island. Have you heard of this?
I've heard of that. Yeah.
But what's nice about it is you remember how you said, oh, we wish there was more water cooler conversations? So
Hmm.
now these kids are having these water cooler conversations. They're figuring out how to talk about this show. And all the
That's great.
bars, all these people are at bars and they're communicating. But go back to my comment about friends and neighbors. There's a line in Friends and Neighbors, and the wife says, you know, I thought you were the one making me angry, and then you left, and I'm still angry. And I just think it's so apropos for where we are
Hmm.
right now. I mean, I love art because it seems to get, it's like the angels are trying to talk through the TV shows and they're trying to show us, and they're like, we keep on showing you the truth, and you don't really want to see the truth, but that's the truth. I mean, we're all having lots of emotions and it's easy. It's easy to think that it's something outside of ourselves.
Yes. Right. And so if it's not, if it's internal, then it's definitely something that you can control, even if it doesn't feel like you can. Sometimes it feels so overwhelming that it it feels like you're trapped, but they're just feelings. They're it's like water. It's it's going to fluctuate. And like you said, the surfer metaphor, are you going to ride with it, ride it out, or are you going to let it drown you?
Yeah, and I mean the feelings are real. I mean, Friday we are going to have feelings, but I think they're here to help us. I really do. I think we're all here to heal.
Hmm.
And I think we could have I think of breakthroughs, right? So breakthroughs in love. How about if I chose to feel safe?
Hmm.
And no matter what the situation is, right? And
Hmm.
listen, my heart goes out to like a lot of people right now because a lot of people might not feel so safe. And maybe we're not living in the safest of times, but I will say that our mind really does matter. I almost want to know what's going to happen on Friday, but I almost don't want to know. I'll say, mate,
So,
it
but
feels
it
like,
seems like something surprising might happen on Friday,
yeah, and it
right?
might not be something we feel so safe.
Right, right,
It might bring up a lot of darkness with us, like or
right.
Friday, Saturday, right? Because then think about this as we move into Saturday after the 4th of July, we're looking at the moon is going to, oh, Venus goes into Gemini, but that Friday, I mean, this is really interesting. It's okay, even if the moon's not really across, it's moving towards the acrossness and it's bringing up these emotions in us, asking us to see how we could choose to feel safe or what we need to do to protect ourselves. I think that's it. I think it's at the end of the day, we are meant to survive. We all have survival skills, and we better listen to our own instincts to survive. And I'll say, if you don't want to go do something on Friday, just listen to your gut,
Hmm.
right? Did you ever get a message from the divine that says maybe you shouldn't go?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe I should go, or maybe I should do something. I don't know. Just be conscious of your feelings on that 4th of July and notice where you're getting upset and where your instincts are trying to tell you and see the deeper lesson. I think that's the gift of Scorpio is it wants us to dive deeper into it.
Hmm.
It does. And we're really meant to be brave and trust God. I mean, I go back. What is God? Right? And then it's making like an invisible where it's blocked. So the feelings are really coming up, but we don't really understand them. Be a little confusing. We could be confused about our feelings.
Hmm.
I think that's perfect when you said let them flow and don't judge them.
Hmm.
Good answer. Good answer. Yeah, look at that flowing on Saturday. Just the Cancer sun, Scorpio moon. Maybe go swimming.
Yes. In deep ocean water or a deep pool.
Yes. Maybe with a light vest
Yeah.
in a safe way. But it is interesting, right? I mean, I feel like now we're here and now it's Saturday and we want to be helped. I mean, I think this is so interesting, right? You have this Pluto sextiling the Neptune. How about if it's, which is always, by the way, the Pluto Neptune is always, this is what I actually was just learning. It's been with us consistently for pretty much everyone that's born has a Pluto Neptune sextile. And we've been going through this Pluto Neptune sextile. And how about if we're all supposed to connect to God and it'll help us transform or a higher spirit or a higher power? And how about if we knew that we were so loved and so connected and that we were so whole, as you said in the beginning of the call? And look at that. I mean, Pluto is trining my mind. How if I knew if my mind, if I got my mind right and I thought good thoughts and positive thinking and I could transform and be radically different. I don't have to be who I was yesterday. I don't need to respond the same way. And then that phone call, Phil, maybe they won't respond either. And what do I believe? I'm going to say, how do you know what they're going to do? Maybe you'll be pleasantly surprised if you just,
It definitely could be, yes, along with everything you're saying, Pluto can be intimidating in its power, right? And its exploration of the darkness. But that Uranus is shining this spotlight of rationality on it, right? So giving us giving us the the awareness, mental awareness to look at those deep, dark, scary things and not to be thrown by them, not to be so afraid that we look away. We keep looking because we've got that powerful Uranus, that enlightening light bulb experience saying, "Oh man, I've run for this so many times," or "I looked at this and felt so terrible about it." But strangely enough, I'm looking at it now and I'm seeing it completely differently. Oh, I get it. Now maybe I understand why, it could still be uncomfortable and kind of crappy, but oh, okay, I have this different take on it now. I understand it differently.
yeah. I love that. A new perspective. I mean, I think that's so perfect. And so Uranian, so Uranian, and so Plutonian. I had to write about Pluto, and it's there's no monsters under the bed, but we're really scared of the monsters under the bed. And the more you don't look, like there's this book, right? And it's like the monster's behind the door, the monster's there, and then they look behind the door. It's go and look where you don't want to look. And maybe it won't be as scary because if we look under the bed that we were so scared of, it actually is pretty healing, right? It's like the dark, if we bring it, what you said, right? Your Uranus and that light. And if you shine a light in the darkness, it's not as dark as we thought it was.
Hmm.
And I do
And you
think
could,
we're asked to feel safe. I think we're really ready to decide that we're going to feel safe no matter what is happening outside of us.
mhm.
I mean, everyone could get to a place in their own body that they can feel safe, even if the world around them. You ever see like a movie? There's probably a movie where the world around them is going and it just kind of there's this quiet.
Mhm. Oh, yes. Yeah, everything around them is speeding up, but they're just still in the center.
Yeah, that just feels very.
Right.
Uranus and Taurus at the last degree. Imagine if we could just be in, we could be stable and solid in the chaos of it all.
And you could go into something feeling like there's a monster under the bed. You could go into something with that feeling, but come away with, you know, something like a gift that completely takes you by surprise. Some kind of surprise outcome that you never even, the last thing you would have thought of would be the outcome. And it happens.
That's so interesting because I was like looking up words and what you said was a surprise and I think of like a present and present is a very Scorpio word, which I actually didn't know that. Like if you look up present in a book of
Hmm.
astrology, and it's Scorpio moon on Saturday. And what you said is that there might be a nice surprise. And when I think of surprise, I think, oh, maybe there's a present. And why it's Scorpio is because it's from another person. Usually a present comes from another person. And so Scorpio is other people's money. Literally,
Hmm.
it's other people's money. So how nice it would be to have a nice surprise from somebody,
Hmm.
a present, and to
Hmm.
receive that. I think also another word for flowing energy is to actually be able to receive and to be willing to receive good things too.
Hmm. Yes.
Good things. I like that. A surprise. A surprise. I can't wait for a good surprise. I'm going to say, I'm going to look forward to it because I don't know. Friday seems like a lot. So I'm looking forward to Saturday having something good coming out of something that maybe. What do we see? Like if something doesn't happen the way we like it, what can we see as the as it like why is this happening for you? Why is it happening for us? And so we have Sunday. We'll be tired by Sunday. We're gonna rest on Sunday now.
Yes. Day of rest for sure.
Day of rest. The day of rest. It's interesting because I it's so interesting because I actually it's so funny because some of my when I first put this up, I really thought that I had the Chiron up, but it's Chiron's not there, so I haven't even really thought about Chiron. But we're all here to heal, and we're all ready to heal. And I think that's Jupiter and Cancer is asking us to do. I don't know how you see Cancer or the positive or the lower side of Cancer, but
Well, it definitely, everyone I know that has cancer energy is very, they just like to care for people. They have that maternal quality of, you know, wanting to make sure that you're fed, you know, want to make sure that you have a nice cup of coffee. All those things are, that's just a, that's second nature to them. On the other side, on the flip side of that is if they feel threatened in any way, then they they're like a crab. They just cover themselves with a shell and they get out of Dodge as quickly as I can. So that's kind of an extreme response to things, I think, because it can be, rather than get into an argument and express yourself, you just relocate.
yeah, but and maybe that's maybe I think of Cancer as being vulnerable too. And then that maybe the shell that we're the crab shell or the turtle shell isn't actually protecting us, right? It's actually hurting us too,
Yes.
right? Because it's the lower side, and that if you are so loving and you are so nurturing, and when you do feed somebody or you nurture someone, take care of somebody, it's because you love them. And
Mhm.
so, how important it is for the Cancer to allow other people, or that even just Cancer energy right now, since everybody is going through where the sun is going through our chart, and allowing other people to care for them and nurture them and love them. And that is really hard, Phil, to receive love. I think it's easier to give love than to receive love.
Mhm.
And yet we all need a hug.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's something so it made me think of something before we leave is just how I'm so sorry because we don't always have the mothers like that we want, I'll say. And so we don't always get that nurturing that we know we could have, I'll say, if our parents weren't so hurt. And so I'll just say I just sending my love and my apologies to people maybe that it was harder for them.
Hmm.
Yeah. But I will say that if your mother or father has passed, that they love you very much and that they only wish that they had opened their heart completely and told you how perfect you were, because that's what they would say. They would say that it's like a baby's born and then you're perfect and wonderful and amazing. And
Well, I I will see my mother again in a couple of weeks, and she knows this from me. I will make sure that she lets me know, or anyone else within earshot, how easy my delivery into the world was and what a pleasure it was to have me as a son, and how, I never complained, never gave her any problems. And I spoon feed her these questions. So she has no way not to answer them in the way that I want her to. And she plays along. It's all a big act, and
wait,
I
that's
get
so
a kick.
funny because that's what I keep on saying about AI. I'm like, you cannot ask AI, like you can't set it up with the question you want answered the way you want it answered. And that's what people are doing. They're like, oh, is this because of that? And then the response kind of gives you the response, like you're saying. It's like
Right,
you can't like box it in that way.
right. Oh,
But
but
I'll say to you, that's the
but
truth.
I make sure I do box it in. I absolutely do.
But I'll say to
So
you, that was the truth. You were so easy and so perfect and so wonderful. And she could have had 10 of you, Phil.
she that's what she says. But again,
So
I
maybe it's the
I
truth.
force her into it.
Yeah, I don't think so. You know, I'm a very good messenger. I'll say to you, even if she's it's just, I
No,
can't make that up.
no, it's all done in really good humor, and
And you're my favorite, right? Do you say that? Like that's what one of my kids says. They're like,
well,
I'm your favorite, right? I'm like,
yeah,
yes, you're my favorite. And then that
that's
one's
right.
my favorite. I kind of, but yes, but at least you're getting the love that you need.
Yeah, yeah. I make her say that too. I make her say all kinds of things. So
Well, good. I'll say I think that's healthy. I'll say everyone should be asking their mother for what they
yep,
need. And it
yep.
might, and we might have to direct it a little bit.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's good. So, but I think we'll speak to you before you go
Oh
down.
yes, yes,
So I will
yes.
see you. I love you.
I love you
I'm so
too.
grateful for this call and I'm so grateful for everyone listening and
Yes,
say, let's practice surfing the waves.
yes. Thank you, Courtney.
May we stay on the board no matter what shows.
Yes.
It's going to be an adventure.
Okay.